All right, guys, this is part 2 of the Zoom session. I just finished part 1. So if you guys are viewing this and you're looking for the TA, please look to the previous link. You will find the TA portion of the Zoom. This is part 2 that's going to be covering Q&A, market analysis, some more in-depth TA requests, and so forth. For all those people that just came in after I started, I have everyone muted. And at the bottom of your participation box, you have a button that says raised hand. If you click on that button, it's going to alert me that you have a question. I will unmute you so you and I can have a conversation without hearing all the background noise. And then I'll do that first come, first serve basis, one at a time. So I'm also going to be looking at the chat room. So if you guys could make sure you type in your questions. If you're unable to speak for whatever reason, make sure that you do it inside of the Zoom application and not on Discord. I am not looking at Discord. I'm looking at the Zoom chat box. So make sure you pose your questions in there, and I will be looking at both the raised hands and the chat box. Let me just open up my box here. Make sure that I got Mr. Mo as co-host. Yes, I do. Okay, I got no raised hands. Let me look at the chat box, see if I have any questions. I650X, yeah, that could happen. That can definitely happen. How can someone say all these alts will again go back to all-time high, because market doesn't always work that way, right? I can say that it's going up to all-time high because of my experience. I've seen these things go lose 80% of their value on a bear cycle, and then go right back up to all-time high and above it. So I've seen it happen. When a lot of people that haven't seen it happen will say that it's impossible, that it's too big of a move up. Not for crypto. If you're used to traditional markets, then yes, it's hard for you guys to wrap your head around the markets, the crypto markets. But in crypto markets, like I mentioned before, within a 6-month period, I saw a coin go 6,000%, lose 80%, go back up 3,000%. In a very short, and it wasn't even 6 months. It was shorter than that. So that's the way crypto works. So I can very confidently say that I6, NEO, and a lot of these XRP, a lot of these coins will hit all-time high. But please do not invest in these coins if you don't feel confident. Sit on the sidelines. Let's see what it does. And if it does reach all-time high, don't buy, obviously the top. On the next bear cycle, you will be prepared and ready to go. There is no rush. We're early in crypto. So if you miss this bull run, it's okay. If you have doubts, don't buy. Stay on the sidelines, watch to see what it can do. And then the next bear cycle, you'll be ready to go. And you'll know that when you see a coin bleed 95%, that you will then feel confident that it can return back to all-time high. So please do not buy just because I'm saying that it's going back to all-time high. Sit back. I could be wrong. So make sure you sit back and don't buy and just wait. And let's see how it goes. Do you expect the bull run during 2019 or 2020? 2019. I don't see 2019 not having a bull market with these institutions, with these ETFs, with BAC. I don't see how anybody can say it's going to happen in 2000. It's going to happen not until 2020. That I definitely am 99% certain that it's not going to wait till 2020. It's going to happen in 2019. And again, guys, you got to remember, and I've heard this before, and Mr. Mo has heard this before. The guys who are doom and gloom, no, this is not going to happen for another 3-4 years. No, BTC is going to go down to $100. Those are guys that are going to wind up sitting on the back and sitting on the sidelines, watching BTC go all the way up in disbelief. They're going to say, oh, no, this is temporary. It's going to hit 10,000. Oh, no, this is temporary. It's going to hit 15,000. Oh, no, it's too high. It's going to crash. And they're going to see it go all the way back up to all-time high and not buy in because they're waiting for that $100 buy-in. So they're waiting for 2020. So don't make that mistake, guys. Be very, very careful. that you don't sit in the sideline in disbelief that it's not going to happen and then watch it happen right before your eyes. Remember, we went to $20,000 from 7,000 in 3 weeks. Very, very short period of time, 3 weeks. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that the 2019 bull run is going to last for months and months. A bull run can last 5 weeks. We can go up 10,000%, and it's over, and we come back down. That's a bull run, guys. Don't misinterpret when we say bull run that automatically means that we're going to have 4, 5, 6, 7 months of green. No, a bull run in crypto lasts a very short period of time. Then we're back down to bear cycle. It's very different than a regular traditional market cycle. So you guys have to just keep that in mind. Let me get a couple more questions. Adam, I see your raised hand. Just let me go through some of these questions, and I will get to you in just a second. Brian says, hi BC, I recall you saying your strategy was to play alt to maximize your USDT in order to put it into BTC when you felt it had reversed. However, I'm guessing that some of your alt trades are, yes, they are underwater. Will you hang on to those or liquidate those to maximize? No, I have cash aside for that. I'm going to keep on holding, and I've been slowly laddering into some of these alts because they're just too good. And the money that I had on USDT, a lot of the money I had on USDT, I've been laddering into BTC, and I am not going to guess what the bottom is going to be. And that's one thing that I want to make sure you guys understand this, Brian and everyone else. It could be 3,000. It could be 1,000. We could have already hit it. So if you try to sit there and guess what the bottom is and not play the market, waiting for that bottom, it can reverse on you just like that. And like I mentioned before, you're going to sit there waiting in disbelief. Okay, no, let me wait. No, let me wait. No, let me wait till it comes back. Let me wait for a retracement. When BTC is on a bull run, it retraces in one candlestick. I've seen Bitcoin retrace $1,500, one candlestick, and come right back up. When people are sitting there waiting for a retracement, like a normal retracement, and it doesn't work that way. So just make sure, guys, that you feel you have a very comfortable price in your mind that you are okay buying, knowing that it might drop another 20, 30%. But like Mr. Mo mentioned today in the Discord channel, and he's mentioned this many, many times before, when you see something that has an 800% upside, don't be worried about dropping 50%. That's crazy. If you're buying near the bottom and you drop another 50%, who cares? Zoom out and look at the potential on the upside. That's what you're looking at. You're looking for that 800%, 1,000% return. Who cares about 50%? So just keep that in mind, guys. Don't be afraid to buy now, even if we're going to $3,000. Remember, I'm not saying we're going there. If we're going to 3,000, these are going to bleed another 40, 50%. Am I going to care? Hell no. I'm getting great prices. At $14, I'm happy I bought near at $14. I'm happy I bought it at $7.12. Could I bought it at $6.80? Sure, I could have, but I didn't. I bought it at $7.12, and I'm fine with that. I don't care. Can it go to $4? Absolutely, it can go to $4. And what am I going to do when it goes to $4? I'm going to buy it again. So you guys need to find a number that you're comfortable with. I hope that clears it up, Brian. Tavi, hey BC, do you read about the markets often? Market psychology, specifically human behavior, is something I am interested in, and wondering if you have a recommendation. I don't read about. I read about the markets every day on my regular routine when I wake up. I don't read on traditional markets. I only read crypto news. I don't read. I'm really bad. I don't read any news at all. Not even what's going on in the world, other than what's on other than crypto stuff. But Mr. Mo he does keep up with all the markets throughout the world. So he would be a better person to ask if you have a question on world markets. I just know crypto. The psychology behind it, yeah, I don't read much about it. I did study a lot on it last year. as I was trying to just to train my brain to buy red and be happy when I see red and not sit there and panic the way you guys do. Like I said, I did the exact same thing. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that I didn't panic myself. That's why I can relate to what you guys are going through. I did the exact same thing. I got wrecked just like you guys did. I bought the tops and sold the bottoms. I did all of that stuff. So don't think you guys are alone. And every trader, I don't care who he is, has gone through the exact same thing, guys. No matter what they tell you, they've gone. Some might not want to admit it. I don't care. I didn't use a bad word. I don't care. So you guys have to watch, because I have a very bad. I have a potty mouth, and Mr. Mo tries to correct me a lot on that, and I don't like using it. Sometimes it slips. But it almost slipped right now. It almost slipped right now. But we have rules in Discord, and we're going to try to keep those rules on Zoom, just to keep it professional and and kid friendly, because who knows who's listening on the other end. So you're welcome, Brian. Now let me take Adam's call. Give me 1 second. Adam had his hands raised. Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Good. Just a quick question about the current formation we're in. It just looks like, obviously, we had a little relief rally, and it looks like we got a nice flag going. And I'm guessing it's kind of like a bull flag, but I have a feeling we're going to break down. I just want your thoughts on that.
Let me look. I haven't seen that formation. You're talking about BTC, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like on the 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart.
Yeah, no, I don't look at those.
Okay. Yeah, like right there.
Don't look at those. Remember, when you look at the 5-minute chart, that means in the next 5 minutes, that can easily break down, but it can only last 5 minutes and come right back up. So when you want to see something that's going to be have a little bit more impact on the market, you want to look at least at a 1 hour time frame flag, and that's going to be a little bit more, give you a little bit of a stronger indicator. Right now on the 1 hour, it looks good. This is a bull flag set up on the 1 hour. It doesn't mean it's going to materialize, because again, I think we're still in the bear market. I still think we have a lot of potential to go down. But looking at this pattern and putting aside what's going on, just strictly looking at the TA, this is a bullish pattern. But it doesn't mean that it's gonna play out. But it definitely can. If we were in a bullish market, I would say, yeah, this is definitely a good time to go in. If you got out for a retrace, this would be a great time to go into just looking specifically at the pattern that I'm seeing now on the 1 hour time frame. But now we got to take into account the RSI. What does the RSI look like on the 1 hour time frame? The RSI still has a lot of room. I'm not worried about the downtick on the RSI, because remember, the downtick, the end of the RSI is always going to reflect the current state of the candle. What you want to look at is the point where it's sitting at. It's sitting at 54 points. That's a great position to be in for an RSI. Now I want to look at the MACD. Does the MACD look bearish? Not to me. The MACD looks really good. So we definitely have room in the indicators to go up. The only thing we need is the volume and a positive sentiment in the market that they believe that we're in a relief rally and that we're going to be going a little bit higher in order to get that volume to come in. But I think it looks good in the 1 hour.
Thank you.
Currently. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me just look at the box here. Any hands raised? Okay, there's no more hands raised. And then look at the chat box. Mr. Mo, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
What's up, guys? So, no, not much. I think, pretty much we are kind of just sitting sideways for a moment, taking a breather, which I think is good. But you know what? Let me see if I pop my my browser on. So I'm just going to grab the screen, PC.
Okay.
See it?
Yep.
Okay. So just a little bit of a zoom out, kind of our market today. Actually, let me just refresh this and make sure that that's kind of what we look like right now. And I don't know, what do you think? How does that look? I kind of like all this, these price graphs where we're seeing these little W's come in. We're seeing this nice little relief coming in. So that's very encouraging right now. I think that's a good thing. On the BTC weekly, we basically bounced off to 200. So she comes, she dumps out. And here we are. We opened up a new candle. And let's see if she holds it. If she holds it, then I think that's a pretty good thing. Let's see. On the daily, I was just kind of going through the daily for a moment and just looking at like the last 2 weeks. So it basically in the last 14 days, we get all this dumping out. And it's interesting how they kind of set up the narrative for price action also. And also keep in mind, world markets in general were, pretty much dumping out as well. If you read some of the news wires, you'll see that between FANG, so Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, they lost about $1 trillion inside of 60 days, right? So tech has been getting hit. FinTech also, and crypto is kind of an extension of FinTech. But it's interesting how they do it in threes. IMF, ECH fork, and then just recently they begun a class action lawsuit against the mining giant Bitmain for, I guess, some of their hardware. They were mining for Bitmain, so that I find pretty interesting. But other than that, yeah, I think we're just gonna hang tight for a minute. I think right now it looks like a mess. It looks bloody, but ask yourself this: if you were in 1929 on that crash, would you have bought it? If you were in 1981 and you are entering the age of computers, would you have bought, that crash? Would you have bought the .com, the end of the .com era? Would you have bought that crash? Would you have bought Amazon? Would you have bought Google? All of these things, usually when an asset comes to market, winds up losing about 90% of its value. So this is kind of the same thing, and but it's uncomfortable. Many people, when they come into the market, this is how they come in. They usually come in when the hype cycle is pretty much at its peak. So you have retailers, right? They buy up here, they buy the tops. And the top here, when you're holding, right, when you huddle, someone mentioned earlier, a huddle, that's not good because, she hasn't retraced. And right now she's retracing. But I'm seeing pretty clear evidence on some of the Tensor charts, and you guys can jump into the heat maps and look at every time when I go to look at what's happening on a heat map, and I keep seeing like over and over and over. I think I just dropped one in the general channel. Let me see if I can open this one up. I keep seeing, I can't help but notice. So for some of you who haven't seen the heat maps, this is Tensor charts. These are heat maps. We're looking at BitMEX, BTC on the 1 hour. This is where I get my alerts in terms of order sizes, but I keep seeing this. I keep seeing 100 BTC bags getting filled. Like over and over, and then I'm like, okay, so who's buying this? I do see a lot of retail selling. So just, some food for thought, guys. Inside of this whole bear market, though, recently, so BC, you were talking about Bitcoin Cash SV getting this little rally, right? Mm-hmm. So just and again, it's not easy to buy, a down cycle. It's very hard to buy inside of like a bloody market. But just as an example of this is SV on Poly. I ran a fib here so that you guys can kind of see that I like entries at 886. But if you were to put a bid and price came down and filled right there, this was 5 days ago. So imagine 5 days ago how high the anxiety was. If you would have stayed in this trade, guess what? You got yourself what? A free
position.
Right there, inside of 5 days. And now, BC, how many people said that this would just die? Like it would be like, boom, and it's over.
Going to zero. This is going to zero,
and it's over. Yep. And meanwhile, this is a perfect example, Guy, of market dumps out, and right there, they grab it there, they grab it there, they grab it there, they grab it there, and boom, she goes up, and we kind of see this harmonic pattern, right? We see A, B, C, D.
And I think this is the problem with a lot of people. They just see that. They see that it does 100%, and now they're going to go in. You'll see a lot of people now they're going to buy because they're going to think it's going to do it again. And then when this corrects and it goes back down and it starts to drop, then they sell the bags and then they're under 20%.
Yes.
That's the problem a lot of people have. If you're not buying it at the bottom, don't buy it at the top. Don't buy it at the top.
Yeah, and that's the psychology. That's going back to the question earlier. The psychology is you have to invert the thinking. You have to get away from this, and you have to transform yourself as an investor and as a trader to force yourself to buy the nastiness, to buy all this blood coming down, so that when an opportunity does present itself, that inside of 5 days, then it's there. Now, I do think in the long run, the Bitcoin Cash, SV, as well as ABC are going to both exist. I don't believe that one will die and the other one will continue. That was kind of the thinking. They're both still here. If you're looking to take this as a trade as a long position and you want to play gap up to here, and play the probabilities, right? You go up right there. That's these are examples of how the market works. I'm seeing a lot of even though the market is where it is right now, I'm very encouraged by this is kind of a second chance. It really is a second chance. So if you understand that, here's another one. So I don't know if BC, I don't know if I shared this with you a while back. I did this as an example, as a study on Tron a while back, and I just saw it today because one of the alerts went off. There was a few gaps that got filled down here, and sure enough, this is the stuff that you go in, you can get free positions, you can actually take it to all-time high. And you do well. My algos and scanners have been pinging, so I'm like, okay, this is good. This is a healthy thing. This is when a market retraces. That's a good thing. It signals for us an opportunity. So it's not going to happen overnight. This is a process. I do feel that 2019 will be a good year, an interesting year, with more capital coming into the market. And again, when they come into the market, they're not going to buy it here. They don't buy the top here. They're going to buy it here. And this makes so much sense. The timing makes a lot of sense right now. Looking at other like Stellar, XLM, look at that. So that to me is pretty amazing. So if you take this trade, look at the risk reward. That's incredible. That really is. So when you take a trade, if you go into a trade and sometimes it requires, if you want that 600%, you might have to risk to the downside of, a loss of 60%. That's part of it. But the risk reward is there for me to look at this and say, yeah, these are the trades that I would actually take. I remember last year in one of the portfolios, I don't know, remember BC when I was throwing out all of them, when the scanner was pinging, I would just chart it and throw it out. Yep. And then I did 12 trades inside of one portfolio. And then I added another one just as an abstract trade. And out of the 12, actually, each one did yield a double, and except the 13th one, the abstract one didn't. It only did 55%. So this is all, it looks like the Black Friday sale is happening in crypto right now. At least that's the way I'm looking at it. So yeah. But I don't know. I think, I'm looking at like Ethereum, and I'm like, wow, this is, oh man, can you? I get pretty excited about the idea of an Ethereum futures contract coming to market, and I'm like, yeah, that could be pretty cool. My little paper trade that I've been putting in the paper trade, just to go back also a little bit on gaps. So some people have been, I think during this process also, people have been kind of taking what they've learned, especially with like gap theory and the gap module that we released, and looking at we open up a new candle right on gap. So just, these are good things. These are things that are validating in the process. But other than that, I think right now, let the market do what it needs to do. And right now, I think it's a great opportunity to find those great ideas, find those great tokens, wrap them inside of a trading plan, inside of a strategy. And once you do that, I think you will be prepared. You won't have to react. You won't have to chase candles. You won't have to, be buying tops and selling at the bottom when it does retrace. So just, take your time, guys. I do want to see some more people just trying to paper trade as much as possible. Again, if this was baseball and you're not in that batting cage, then you're not getting the practice. And getting a little bit breakout too. I just saw that, a little uptick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this
Mo,
is kind of.
Remember last year, Mr. Mo, how people sat on the sidelines in disbelief as after the China, and everybody was just like, their emotions were just super high and the morale was down. Yeah. And when we took off, so many people sat on the sidelines and they kept on saying, "No, guys, it's going to come down. No, guys," and they said that all the way up to 20,000. All the way up, they just kept on saying that, no, and they sat there in disbelief.
Yeah.
And you guys don't want to be caught in that.
The same thing will happen. The same thing will happen. We will go up, and people will say, all right, this is just going to be a little bit of a bounce, but that's it. And, it's part. Look, I think one of the good thing is if you're down, everything is down right now, and that's okay. It's part of the cycle. I think sometimes people think that because they down or they took a loss that sometimes they think it's a bad thing, but I can't tell you enough how the experience that you gain sometimes in some of those losses are like so incredibly valuable. They teach you so many different things about your own risk tolerance, about how you are as a trader. Right now is the defining moment of you as an investor and as a trader. Right now is a defining moment. Investors went through it during the 1920 crash. It defined them. They went through it through 81. They went through it through 2000, 2001, and now we're going through this again. Now is the defining moment as a trader. You are either going to sell your bags and take the loss and take the hit, or if you exercise patience, if you put together a good strategy, if you get some great ideas, wrap them in, and stay disciplined. It will work. So I don't know. That's kind of how I'm seeing it right now. But overall, I feel pretty excited. I think this is a good thing. Crypto kind of goes through this big breakout bull run, and then it retraces, and then it goes sideways. It cools off. And it goes through this the valley of death, right? And after that process, you see this long channel, and the longer that channel goes, and the more sideways it goes, the more powerful the breakout becomes when it does move to the upside. So that's. But I'd be curious to know again how people are feeling. I want to know. Are people having a tough time, struggling? Is the anxiety a little too much? Like, where are they? Do we have any questions, BC?
Yeah, we actually do.
Go for it.
Okay, go for it. Let me go ahead and get. We had Zihan. Hey, Ziz, how are you?
Hey, man, how are you?
Good, thank you, sir. How can I help you?
Not bad, thank you. We previously spoke just before the backed announcement, a couple of days before. And I made a question to you regarding, what's the implication of if backed, the hype it's creating, it doesn't deliver, what would happen? And will there be a sell-off? And I think 3 days later, it got answered by itself. My question is, I want to know your view. Do you think this is the final rally before a bump up, or you think the market's going to turn around at this point, or you think there's a second, more deeper correction to come?
For me personally, I think it's very hard to answer that question because when you look at a time frame and you look at, we have 2 months to go before they go live. So they give a date of January 24th. That's 2 months. 2 months in crypto is a very, very, very long time. So to look at some green today and think that we're going to start going up 2 months prior to that, I don't see it. I think, we're going to have some, the market always has a relief rally, always goes up a little bit. I think that's what we're experiencing. So it's, I don't think it is. It could. And that's why if it does, I'm okay because I'm in it. I'm in it. I've been laddering myself down towards the bottom. And if it's not, then I buy some more if it goes down to $3,000. It's just one of those things that it's impossible to really be able to measure that exact bottom, which is why it's so important that if you have a plan, if you have a trading plan and you stick to that plan and you, like I mentioned before, you have a number in your mind that you want to buy. And if it reaches that number and you buy it, you have to also be prepared and be okay that, okay, if it drops another 20% or 30%, what am I going to do? Am I going to freak out and sell, or am I just going to buy some more? Because you already have also, before you take on a trade, you already know what your target is. You already know, okay, I'm going to sell it at such and such return on my investment because TA says that the all-time high is 600%, it's 800%. So when you have that goal in mind, it's a little bit easier to swallow a 50% loss when you're looking for an 800% gain. It makes it a little bit more, it's a more easier pill to swallow than if you're looking at it 15-minute time frames and you're like, oh my God, this thing is just crashed. When you look at it at higher time frames, you barely see a little small wick.
Yeah.
So it just depends on your view on what your goal is and what your trading plan is going to be. Are you holding it for the next few months till the bull run happens, or are you trying to do a scalp trade? Of course, if you're trying to do a scalp trade, your mindset and your approach to the trading is going to be much, much different to somebody who's looking for a daily cost averaging in for a potential move to a 600-700% target. That's going to be a much different mindset than somebody who's going in for a quick kill. Like, for instance, HackerDan went in for a quick kill, made 11% on SV. He went in, he went out, but he's been saying that before he took the trade. He had the plan. He says, I'm going to go in, and I'm going to go in for a quick scalp, and that's exactly what he did. He got the scalp, he got out, and now he's waiting for retracement to go back in.
Where do you think the risk is, to the upside or the downside, if someone is trading now on a day-to-day basis? I think it's too risky to go either way because the market swings can go probably test 5K before the year's unwinding of positions, because everything's going to get unwinded from equity. Well, equities, you'll see a rally this week because of the good numbers which came out from the Black Friday events, and might have a little relief rally going from Monday to probably till Friday. But then coming to the year's end, I see again, with the trade war, Trump and China thing going on by the 30th November. I see more pain coming in till at least the first few weeks of Jan.
Well, to answer that, I'll use HackerDan as the example. He also mentioned that he was going to have a tight stop loss. So he had his whole plan. He's like, I'm going to go into this trade. If this happens, I got my order filled. I'm running with the type stop loss. So he already had all that contingency. Some people who are buying now and are hoping to get a higher return a little bit later, there's nothing wrong with buying it now. I bought NEO, and I know it could go to $4. It has a possibility to do that. Am I going to be upset about it? No, because before I took on that trade, I already had it in my mind that if it goes lower, I'm going to buy more. I'm not going to put a stop loss when I'm at the bottom of the market. I'm not going to use that. If I don't use it at the top of the market, I'm sure I'm not going to use it at the bottom of the market. So I'm just going to continue to buy until we go back up, because I'm looking for a much greater picture on start selling these on retracements, but not on these small retracements. When we do 50, 60% moves, that's a retracement that I want to get out of, and I want to maximize my amount of coins that I have. I'm not going for a retracement on an 11% pump, not when we're this close to the bottom. It's just my strategy is a little bit different than it was a couple of months ago.
And you think, apart from the coin listed on the market, the ones which are, let's say, we have still European ICOs are working for now. Forget American ones. You think it would be a good time to invest if any lucrative ICO is coming up, which is like security token, or which is regulated, as to what the ones which were from the American ones, which are actually getting battered really hard, and even their developers are selling their Ethereum stock to, either to, like what happened with DAO, they paid back their investors, and like they're liquidating their Ethereum holdings. So you think it would be a good idea to get on something like that at this in this current climate? When there's blood on the street, it's the best time to buy. That's what they say.
Yeah.
So,
if for me personally, I don't buy ICOs because they're huge risk. And I don't buy those now. However, I will buy an ICO that is SEC regulated and has the proper US permits and is a US company. Something like, for instance, Scroll. If another company comes out that has the same dynamics as Scroll, I would buy it in a heartbeat with full confidence, because I know that they are looking at these ICO through a magnifying glass, and if the U.S. the Security Exchange is willing to give them the green light, then I will feel 100% confident in putting money in that ICO. If an ICO comes out from Korea, Japan, China, I won't even touch it. I don't care what the project is. I don't care what the potential is. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. Agreed. Because obviously the US has been so picky, and anyone passes their bar, it would mean something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. Let me, hey, Mo, I'm going to take the screen. I'm going to look at a couple of requests that I got.
Sure, go for it.
All right. Let me see here. Here. Okay, I've got Ion. Let me take a look at it. Yeah. Okay. Oof. Wow, this thing continued to fall. Well, like everything else. Looking good. I mean, it's looking good as far as the RSI and the MACD is concerned. The only thing, guys, look at the space between the 9 EMA and the actual price action. This, to me, is very risky. This looks good and this looks good, but remember, you guys should have a protocol, like Mo says, on when to take a trade. So if it doesn't fit your exact requirements, then you might just exercise a little bit of patience and see where it goes. This barely has 2 days where it found an average floor, but it did it here as well, and it did it here as well. And look what happened the other days. It continued to dump. So this is a little too early to know if it found a floor or not. If we look at a smaller time frame, let's look and see if it looks a little bit same thing. We're still not above the 9 EMA. The indicators look great. The RSI looks great. The MACD looks great. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Again, we're still getting rejected by that 9 EMA. This looks great. Nice uptick. Nice a bullish crossover are going to happen real soon with the MACD, but it's still getting rejected every time it hits that 9 EMA. So it looks good as far as keeping an eye on it, maybe setting some alerts a little bit below it, a little bit above it, and then seeing a consistency, a close above the 9 EMA, stay consistently above the 9 EMA, maybe go sideways and maintaining that action, maintaining the volume above it. But at the same time, guys, think about there's not enough data on this to see what the downside is for a risk reward. So something like this is very difficult to put a risk reward on because it's a new coin. So you have to ask yourself, do you believe in the project? Is it a good enough project? And I hear a lot of good things about this project. I personally don't know anything about it. But like we talked about before, is it in a position that if it drops another 20%, Are you okay with it? What's the all-time high on this? What are you willing to risk to look? Let me put this price action here. Let me get rid of this stuff here. All right, so let's see where, like Mr. Mo says, let's see where our free position. Oh my God, a free position is this can't be right.
You gotta pinch it and zoom up and
Yeah,
get rid of that red candle.
Yeah. Hold on. Get here. I'm like, this cannot be right. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me get in here, and let's see if you were to buy it right now. And how far up? Yeah, this is fucking right. You got 8,000 Satoshis. How far up do you have to go to get a free position? And it's right there, guys. Look at the Satoshi rate that it is now. It's at 34,000. Just to double your position, you have to reach right there. Is this a good trade? I think it's a great trade. But if you take this trade and it dumps some more, are you okay with that? Can you wrap your head around that? Or are you going to be crying about it? Are you going to be whining how you're down 30%? If you think you're going to be doing that, or if you're one of those that are doing that now, then don't buy it. Wait a little bit longer. And even if you wait, guys, even if you don't have the mindset to trade yet and you wait, and say you wait till it gets above the 9 EMA, right where this line is. Even if you take the trade here, you still just have to go to right here, which is the next major resistance, to get 123%. So if you don't feel comfortable buying it now because you don't have the experience yet and you don't have the psychology of handling a 30% loss or a 50% loss, then wait. Wait till it gets above the 9 EMA. And if you feel more comfortable here, it's still a great trade. Just to hit the first resistance, it's still 123%. So that's my view on ION. The other one was somebody. Let me look at the chat real quick here. Let me see here. A Link. Here it is. Link. L-I-N-K. Again, I don't know about Link, but I hear a lot of good things about Link, and it's been pretty strong. Oh yeah, look at that. It's been really strong. Oh yeah, I know Link because you guys were all requesting it when it was up here. That's why I know how. I hear a lot about Link. Look, guys, this is a perfect example. You guys kept on requesting this coin when it was up here, how you wanted to buy it. Now, look at this retracement. So if you guys believe in this coin and like this coin, I mean, it hasn't retraced all the way. It's super strong, in my opinion. As much as the other coins bled, this one did not bleed as much as all the other ones. And look, it's sitting there pretty strong. Same comment as before. You have to ask yourself, what is a number that you're okay, that you're comfortable with? Let's look at this, guys. Let's look at the risk reward. I mean, this has a high risk. This has a high risk because look how much further down this has to go for you to take that trade. Let me get rid of this box here. Give me 1 second. So for all-time high on this here, I mean, the time that you guys should have bought this, if you guys love this project so much, was down here. Was down here. I mean, this has a huge risk reward in my opinion. I personally wouldn't take this trade. That's just me. And again, I don't know anything about this project, but this has ran up a lot already. And if you guys were not believers down here, I don't see why you guys want to buy it up here. But to each his own. My recommendation, I wouldn't buy it, but you guys might know something I don't about this coin that you think it's going to go up another 1,000%. And if that's the case, then you have your answer there. Let me look at Nano real quick. Nano BTC. Let's look. Here we go. Now this is different. Look at Nano. This is much different. This is something I would definitely want to buy. Has it found its floor? Probably not. How much further can it go down? It can go down a little bit more. I mean, it can go down a lot more, really. You don't know how far it can go down, but look how much upside you have. So for me, because I'm not only am I patient, but I have a lot of tolerance. I have very, very thick skin. This is something I would totally want to buy if I'm into this coin. And I'm looking at a chart like this. Yeah, why not? Look at all this upside that we have here. And the downside, I really don't care. I mean, if I believe in this project as much as a lot of people here believe in Nano, I hear people talking about it, and this is my goal is 644%. I'm not going to care that it can drop another 30-40%. So this looks good, guys. If you guys are into this coin and you guys are willing to hold through another downfall, if BTC goes to $3,000 or $2,000, then here's your answer. Here's your goal. It depends on your mindset. Let me look at the question. I'm actually going to be cutting this really soon because I'm going to go eat dinner. I'm really hungry. My wife's cooking and it smells amazing. Looks like break down out of this bull flag currently. Yeah, it looks like we can break down. When is this recorded? Yes, Rocket. We record all these, and then once they render and they upload, Mr. Mo will post them whenever that happens. Maybe tomorrow. We'll be able to post them. You just got to think that these file sizes are really, really big. So not only do they have to render locally, but then we have to upload them to the cloud. And then the service that we use has to upload and render it on their servers. So when you click on the link, it's available for you to watch. So there's just a lot of processes that go on in the background. It's not like taking your cell phone and recording it and then me texting it to you and you can see it right away. It's very, very different with voice, with video and voice. Voice takes up a lot of gigabytes. Nano, okay, we did Nano. BC, can you check DGB? Okay, that'll be the last one, guys. I'll check DGB. Oh, you know what? Zihan, yeah, Zihan, I already got him. Let me check DGB, and this will be the last one. Bittrex. Here we go. I'll do BTC because that's going to have more data on BTC. Let me look at the 1 day. So actually, you know what? Let me look at BTC. That's USDT. Wow, 279 Satoshis. That's a great entrance for DGB. We just saw it go to 800 Satoshis a couple of months ago. So, I mean, that's a great entry. It's 279. Look at this, guys. This is a great entry in my book. DGB is a strong coin. It's been around for a very, very long time. It's got great support right here at this level. To me, this is a great entry. And this green line is also a great entry. So if it drops another 30 Satoshis, definitely you have, I mean, the risk of it coming down here to 100 Satoshis, you know, it could happen, but look at this upside, guys. This went all the way up to 2,700 Satoshis. You're buying it at 276. So that's a 1,000% increase. If you're looking at the big picture and you're zooming out, I would buy this. This is a great, in my opinion. This looks like a good trade. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Raul? I'm pretty much done.
No, we have Z. Sean has a hand up.
I think that's an old one. That's the one. Yeah, we just finished talking to him. I didn't unraise his hand.
Okay. Yep. No, I think other than that, we're good. Probably just the last. So if some of you know Mike Novogratz, he is an investor in the cryptocurrency space. He believes in a recent Cointelegraph article that the markets will flip next year. So he's bullish. I think I am in line with that thinking. But right now is, I think, a great time. So as messy as it looks, these are the opportunities. Again, just go and look at history and 1929, what happened, 1981, 2000. Ask yourself, would you buy those markets? And right now, I think, I'll just say this, now is going to be the defining moment as an investor, and defining the type of investor that you are also, whether you are someone who just wants to go scalp, day trade, swing trade, long, which I think is a really, really good thing. That's important, especially if you're new to the space. But that's it. I think we should wrap.
I do want to answer one question. Randolph, he asked me what coin, small cap coin, altcoin that I like. The only one that I'm currently in that small cap is Scroll. That's the only one that I like. I'm not a big fan of small cap coins, but it's the only one that met my criteria as far as being U.S. regulated and have all the proper permissions and have a working product. So that's the only one that I hold, Randolph. And that's not to say that there's not many small cap coins that are great out there. I just personally don't invest in them, so I don't know of any personally. But if you ask the community, I know a lot of guys here do trade in small cap coins, and that might be able to be a better source of resource than I would be on that subject. All right, guys, have a wonderful night, and we'll stay safe this week. Be careful on you guys' trading, and we'll keep it. We'll do another Zoom session sometime this week and see how things look towards the middle to end of the week, and maybe we'll do another. I'm sure we'll do another Zoom session by then. And I'm going to start recording the Fib extension, the Fibonacci module this week, but that's going to take some time because I'm not a per se expert. So Mr. Mo is going to actually lend me a hand on that one, as I don't use it as much as he does. So I will be doing some studying myself, but I will be recording that. So that one probably will be about 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more before that one comes out. So I just want to prepare you guys. It's going to take a little bit of time, especially for me to record it. So just be patient with us. But those modules are coming, and it's going to have a lot of good information. And we have plenty of time, guys. We have plenty of times to learn. And always remember that YouTube has a lot of information out there, guys. YouTube has a lot of free information, a lot of videos that you guys can take advantage of. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.